July 9th and 10th, 2025. Two nights that Kyiv will never forget, not because of a storm, not because of some natural disaster, but because of something far more terrifying, an assault from the sky, relentless, calculated, and devastating. In under 48 hours, Russia launched one of the largest aerial attacks of the entire conflict, hundreds of kamikaze drones, dozens of missiles, and what followed wasn't just destruction, it was a test. Of air defenses, of morale, of survival. So what really happened over Kyiv? What weapons were used? And where was Ukraine's air defense when it mattered most? Let's break it all down. It started like any other evening. Air raid sirens blaring over the city, now so common they barely made people flinch. But this time, something was different. Just after nightfall on July 9th, Ukrainian radar systems picked up a massive surge of aerial movement, coming in fast from multiple directions. Within minutes, the sky over Ukraine filled with swarms of Shahed 136 and 131 drones. Alongside them, at least 13 missiles were launched, each with its own target. This wasn't a typical bombardment. This was a saturation strike, the kind designed to overwhelm and confuse air defenses by flooding the sky with too many targets at once. Several districts in Kyiv were hit. Massive explosions rocked Shevchenkivsky, Darnitsky, and Solomyansky. Fires broke out. Cars and buildings went up in flames. The city trembled, literally. That same night, over 700 drones were reportedly launched across Ukraine. According to officials, nearly 300 were shot down, but some got through. And the damage they caused was all too real. And before the city could even begin to recover, a second wave hit on July 10th. It was just as ruthless. 2 civilians were killed, one of them a young police officer, another an elderly woman trapped in her apartment. Dozens more were injured as fuel stations exploded, homes were shattered, and smoke filled the sky for miles. This wasn't just a numbers game. Russia used a sophisticated mix of weapons to maximize damage and bypass Ukraine's layered air defense network. Long-range Kh-101 cruise missiles were launched from 295 and 160 strategic bombers. These missiles are stealthy, deadly, and accurate, capable of flying thousands of kilometers before hitting their targets. From the Black Sea, Kalibor missiles were fired from Russian warships, targeting critical infrastructure inside Kyiv. Meanwhile, Iskander-M ballistic missiles, fast and hard to intercept, slammed into strategic locations with devastating force. Even older missiles like the Kh-22 and Kh-32, designed decades ago to sink ships, were used in a new role, modified to strike ground targets in urban environments. And all the while, hundreds of Iranian-made Shahed drones kept pouring in, not because they were powerful, but because they were cheap, disposable, perfect decoys to saturate radar coverage, confuse tracking systems, and open the path for the more lethal payloads to follow. This was modern warfare, ruthless and efficient. Kyiv isn't defenseless. Over the past year, Ukraine has built a complex air defense network with support from Western partners. Advanced systems like the Patriot PAC-3 from the U.S. have been deployed in and around the capital, capable of intercepting incoming ballistic and cruise missiles. Alongside them, Germany's IRIS-T and the Norwegian-American NASAMS provide medium-range protection, especially against fast-moving drones and air-launched missiles. Further out, older Soviet-era systems like the S-300 and Buk M1 are still in use, protecting the outer perimeter of the city. But the truth is, there's only so much these systems can handle at once. Kyiv is a massive urban sprawl, and even the most advanced interceptors can only protect a limited area at any given time. Systems have to be constantly moved to avoid being targeted. Some areas are inevitably left exposed, especially when hundreds of projectiles are launched all at once. On the ground, infantry teams armed with shoulder-launched missiles like the Stinger, Pirun, and Igla do what they can, often stationed on rooftops or inside high-rise buildings. In some zones, mobile anti-aircraft guns like the German Gepard or the Soviet Shilka are deployed to knock down drones at low altitudes. But it's never enough. Not when the sky rains metal every night. Despite intercepting nearly 300 threats, Ukraine's defenses couldn't stop them all. And that's all Russia needed, just a few to slip through and do the damage. This wasn't just a military operation, it was a message. A signal to Ukraine and the world that Russia can still strike deep into enemy territory, no matter how advanced the defenses may be. Some believe this wave of attacks was retaliation, perhaps for the increasing military aid from the West, or maybe for diplomatic pressure that's mounting across Europe and the US. Others see it as a test, a way to probe Ukraine's air defense response, to stretch its capacity, identify weaknesses, and adapt for the next strike. And for civilians, it was a brutal reminder that nowhere is truly safe, not even the capital. The two-day assault on Kyiv in July 2025 will go down in history as one of the most intense attacks of the entire conflict. It tested every layer of defense Ukraine had. It exposed gaps, and it showed that even the most protected cities are still vulnerable. Yes, Ukraine fought back. Its air defense systems intercepted hundreds of targets. But in a war of attrition like this, every strike that lands matters. Every missile that hits a transformer station, every drone that ignites a fire, every civilian life lost. It all adds up. And as the world watches, one thing becomes clear. The skies over Ukraine will not be quiet anytime soon. Because in this war, peace never lasts more than one night. This content is created solely for educational and informational purposes. It is intended to provide insights based on verified data, credible sources, and careful analysis. Our goal is to foster a deeper understanding of modern military technology and current events, not to promote or endorse any form of conflict, propaganda, or political agenda. We strictly oppose the spread of misinformation and hoaxes. Every piece of information presented has been carefully sourced from reliable, publicly available references. We encourage viewers to approach the topic with critical thinking and respect for all sides involved, maintaining a focus on knowledge sharing and open discussion.